Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here, of course, for Haikyuu. Episode 5.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
the Coward's Anxiety.
Right.
It's a very clever... Specific title. Because we don't know who the coward is right now. Like, it could be any of the characters.
I could see them actually talking about Suki here.
Really?
Yeah, because they've spent a lot of time developing Hinata and Kageyama, and Suki is the other person in the match. So seeing some perspective and development on the person on the other side. Well, they need to make him more of a character first before they go in depth, I think.
Sure, possibly. Coward's Anxiety. Could it be Suga, otherwise known as Osu?
Osu? Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
It could also be a new character we haven't met yet.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we still have to see whether, because they ended the last episode in the middle of the match.
Right,
so
still need to know what happens.
Right. Like, do they win the match?
Yeah.
Are they going to show the rest of the match? Or will they say, oh, we lost, but at least we were able to, develop the skills and friendship and stuff? Or, what's going to happen?
I think they'll just quickly end the match and
probably
we'll move on to the rest of the team forming stuff.
Sure.
All right, let's get into this episode and see what happens.
よく我慢して待ってたな顔面にトス食らってるやつなんて初めて見たもんな
He's like crying a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh. This is more recap, right? Yeah. Oh, no, nice. He
Sweet.
faced it. Yeah.
Did they win?
Is that the set? He loves taking off his shirt, Tanaka. Poke out again, yes. Yeah. Yeah. They're making fun of him because he's on their team hard.
Yeah, Suki might be getting the development this episode.
He took off his coat. He's taking it seriously. Woo!
Nice.
With that double threat, they really don't have a chance.
Yep. But he's getting the spike.
Yeah. Wow. That's the set. They won.
お疲れさんあいつらにあんな攻撃使えるって見抜いてあんなこと言ったんすか
When you said what you said.
そんなわけあるか俺はもっと日向が打ちやすいトスあげたれよって意味で言ったんだよ
Right.
俺は影山の多少無茶なトスにも日向なら合わせられるようになるかなって思ってたでもいい意味で裏切られた
Yeah, you guys got something much better.
Way better. But they're exhausted. 10 times 10 equal 100. Yes!
Yeah,
Yes! The bazooka.
I love it.
I love the yin and yang of the coloring.
Yep. Good game. Yeah.
試合の最初と最後に握手すんじゃん。今日の最初はしてないけど。それにこれからチームメイトだし。
Right. That's right.
嬉しくねえけど。早くしろよ。お前知らねえの？ちゃんとチームメイトの自覚を持たないと体育館から離されるんだぞ。
That is what they've experienced so far.
出禁になったのはキャプテンが注意をしかとして勝手に勝負始めた挙句共闘のズラを吹っ飛ばしたからでしょう。
Wait. You shouldn't know about that.
いいじゃねえか。細かいこと。
どうだった？3対3は
別にどうでもエリート校の王様相手だし僕ら庶民が勝てなくても何も不思議じゃないです。
Oh,
Yep.
weird.
He's getting developed this
そ
episode.
の割にはさ、ちゃんと本気だったじゃん。おい。
キャプテン。
何？
Their applications.
あれもう届いてたよな。
Yeah, they get their uniforms.
あれ？
Yes, I love that box. It's always that box. Yep. Yeah.
多分サイズ大丈夫だと思うけど、何かあったら言って。
They look good.
Yeah.
おう似合ってるぞ
Haha.
似合ってる似合ってるぞ
Haha.
これからカラスのバレー部としてせーのよろしく
Nice.
That's awesome. There's not that many though.
Yeah, what was that? So 10 people
10
total.
total. As of right now.
Right.
And of course, she's a part of it as well.
Right.
But she's not a player.
も田中も
So she is kind of like the manager type assistant,
Right.
help kind of organizer and things like that.
And that makes sense to have a faculty member like watching over each of the clubs.
Sure.
お疲れ
なんだおい
練習試合相手は県のベスト4青葉
Oh, cool.
正常
嘘
Huh.
ベスト4の練習試合
Alba Josai.
先生正常なんて強いとどうやって
まさかまた土下座を
してないしてない土下座得意だけどしてない
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
ただ条件があってね
条件
Oh.
影山くんをセッターとしてフルで出す
Oh.
いいじゃないかこんなチャンスそうないだろ
That's really big of Suga.
カラスノのセッター菅さんじゃないですか
Yeah.
俺は日向と影山のあの攻撃が
Maybe he's the
Sure.
one with the anxiety.
Oh.
Because he's having
Yeah.
a performance kind of competition in his mind with
Right, with
Kageyama.
Kageyama. Yeah.
日程は急なんだけど
Wow, that's soon.
放課後の短い時間だから1ゲームだけ学校のバス
試合
Whoa.
試合カラスノに来て最初の正式な人数でやる試合だ
That's awesome.
はい今回は俺自動的にスタメンですけど次はちゃんと実力でレギュラー取ります
He's like, no,
いや
you
影山は
you were, you have earned your place.
Right.
意外で
なんでですか
体力も実力も断然お前の方が上だろ
経験の差はそう簡単に埋まるもんじゃない
Yeah, that's right.
それと他のメンバーからの
Yep, yep,
信頼
yep.
Yep.
影山の元チームメイトがいる子
Oh.
やりづらくないかとは思ってさ
同じチームだったら考えるかもしれないけど
Just a little. Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised that they are bringing that up so soon.
They're tightly weaving everything together. It's
Yeah, I
perfect.
love
俺
it.
は納得いかないっつうか
Tanaka.
そりゃ悔しいけどでも影山が中学の時と同じだと思ったら大間違いだって
He's so sweet.
Yep.
そうだな
No,
お前何先に食ってんだよ
Yeah, there are only 2 bags.
店の前で騒ぐなすいません
そうかバレー部か
Yeah.
ここにいるみんなバレー部なんだ同じ
That's just awesome.
カレーマンないっすか
同じチームなんだ
Oh, my heart.
Yeah, it's so good.
ちょっといいこれで行こうと思う
Hinata right in
影
the
山と日向
center.
はセットで使いたいし
Dang.
月島はうちでは数少ない長身選手だ正常相手にどれくらい戦えるか見たい
Sure.
Right.
いいかひなたお前は最強のおとりだ
最強の
Decoy. So you might not get any action,
Yeah.
but
クイックでガンガン点を稼いで敵ブロックの注意をお前に向けさせるそうすれば他のスパイカーが生きてくる
right. That's what you guys were doing in the game prior.
月島
Yeah.
みたいなでかいやつが何人もお前の動きにアホみたいに引っかかったら気持ちいいだろ
Oh.
おいアホってツッキーのことじゃないだろうな黙れ山口
ごめ
Yamaguchi.
ん月
逆に お前が機能しなきゃ他の攻撃も総崩れになると思え。
ちょっとあんまプレッシャーかけんなよ。ほら見なさい。だから日向自信持って。
俺頑張ります。踊りもやってサブもブロックもクイックも全部。
Calm down, calm down. He blew a fuse.
He totally did.
Oh, cool. Everyone's gear can go in here. It's basically a glorified closet, but
right.
初めてなんです。小さな巨人もここ使ってたんですよね。明日はちゃんとやんないと。中学とか
Now just do your best.
3対3と違って、これからは俺の代わりがいる。やだ。交代やだ。せっかくチームメイトが揃ってるコートに立てるんだ。ちゃんと最後まで出たい。
his nervous stomach, yeah.
Yeah.
ヘマしちゃダメだ。ヘマしちゃダメだ。ヘマしちゃダメだ。
あららごめん、小さくって見えなかった。
His face actually terrified them. They're like, what?
おい影山、お前日向にいつもの余計な一言で無駄にプレッシャーかけんなよ。
余計な一言。そんなこと俺言ったことない。全然心当たりがない。
日向
Ah!
俺のジャージだよ。
何やってんのよ田中。
Not sleeping at all. Oh my god.
Sister's gonna like throw the door open and be like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
ごめん。
お前何その顔。
ちょっと昨日眠れなくて。
No!
Uh-oh.
窓開けてもいい。
Oh.
Oh no!
なんか
Alright, cool. So that one is a good intermediary between the real sort of season-ish starting.
Right.
And what forms the team together.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of incident is one of those things where how will the team come together, or maybe play a little bit of the pointing and blaming game if it affects the game.
Right, right. And thankfully, though, they have Daichi, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Relatively. And I think most of the players there being third years and more experienced gives them that edge where they'll be able to kind of, keep everyone cool a little bit. Even though Hinata is going to be, a bit of a problem now because he is freaking out. He's freaking out. He's not really prepared. Mm-hmm. In a way, I think that's one of the few negatives that comes from being a person, really, that hypes yourself up like that.
Sure, yeah. When you really care about something, that means...
Yeah, you kind of worry a bit too much about the outcome of the thing you're excited for. It's kind of like if you're going to watch the new Star Wars movie, for instance, and you're so excited for it, you set your expectations so high that once you get into the movie, you might be a little bit nervous that it doesn't meet your expectations. Right. And then, But also, Hinata is young.
He is.
And one of the things that is very common in high school is the belief that this is the end of the world if you get it wrong. It's like, this is a practice match. Dude, not only is this not the end of the world, it doesn't even matter as far as the game is concerned.
Like, it literally has no weight.
It has almost no weight.
No weight, yeah. I think it could have psychological weight.
Well, he is right to some extent that teams will look at practice scrimmage matches like this as a way to set up the team composition. Yes. So he could be replaced.
Right.
But I would actually see that as potentially being a good thing.
Right, and that's maybe why Daichi is having them have a weird setup.
Right. And maybe they'll have to pull him off. But once he's able to kind of come back and be a little bit steady, he'll come back into the game later.
Sure, I would love to see that, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that him immediately getting a starting position on the team makes some sense and it also doesn't make sense, because I feel like you would still want some of the safe picks for an actual game.
Right.
And then you would bring him in here and there with Kageyama on specific sets, but they're doing it this way because
it's a practice match.
Not only that, Kageyama is being asked to be the setter the whole game.
Right.
So they might as well have Hinata in there so they can work on this combo. And I think that makes sense.
Yeah, they're using the practice match to practice.
Right, but did you notice how each person had some aspect of the coward's anxiety?
Yes, I thought that was really nice that they did that.
Yeah, I kept guessing which one it would be, and I couldn't tell.
Yep, and it was kind of all of them, which is great because it shows that even though Hinata's getting affected by it the most,
yes, definitely.
That kind of anxiety is something that everyone has to deal with, even if they've dealt with it before.
Right, you know. And it also comes out in different aspects, whereas Osu, aka Suya, he has to deal with the fact that he might be a little bit nervous about having such a great setter also on the team with him, kind of competing for the spot.
Right.
And the fact that this, this once junior hire was kind of a legend at his job, so it might make him a little bit nervous about his position within the team.
Sure.
Yeah. Suki also might be a little bit nervous about having his first initial experience with the rest of the team be a little bit, not antagonistic, but having that kind of divide be set up in the beginning might need to be resolved at some point in the future.
Yeah. Now, did you notice that they introduced a lot of characters this episode?
Yeah.
Because they introduced two... Okay, if you don't count...
Well, I don't think they gave the name for the actual other team members yet.
They haven't given the names for the other team members, but they did give the name for the girl. I think it was... Dang it, I can't remember what it was.
Shoot, guys, help us out in the comments. What's the name of the girl manager?
I think. But
Itetsu Takeda, or Takeda Itetsu, was the guy who was the organizer. He's the guy that set up the practice match.
And then there was also the person that Daichi was talking to. And I thought that was a great way to show... I thought that was a great way to show how Daichi was nervous, because Daichi is the most not affected by that stuff. He's the pillar of strength.
Right, but he also uses some of the same words repetitively in order to convince himself maybe that they've got this all under control.
Exactly.
And I'd say that's a very leader type thing to do, but it's also kind of a naive leader type thing to do. Because building yourself up and reinforcing your own beliefs with words is a very good thing to do. Do it. That's awesome.
The thing is, it has to be accompanied with action, otherwise it's just brainwashing yourself.
But also you can tell that because he was using the same words...
It was something where he was trying to convince himself.
He was trying to convince himself, probably.
Yeah.
And I think that's good just to show that he's a more realistic character than an Irwin standing atop the trees while the crows fly behind him and he's all, "We will advance into the Nationals! I have foreseen it,"
Right, yeah.
That kind of thing is good. But all the beats they hit with kind of the forming of the team dynamic, they had those moments where Hinata was realizing, whoa, I'm
actually, like, the volleyball club, I'm included in that statement.
Yeah, so but he has teammates now.
Yep, and
he hasn't had true teammates ever.
And
the people that were his teammates were there basically because he made them be there.
Yeah, and
that's it's good.
The fact that they're able to have it carry that much weight when we didn't actually really see much time where he was without teammates.
Right.
It was all like through flashbacks and then through that one game at the very beginning of the show. So the fact that they're able to communicate this much emotion with the idea of finally having an actual team that he's a part of is really impressive. So kudos to them for that.
Kudos to that.
Yeah.
Also, they're tightly weaving together plot points from previous stuff by having the school Kitagawa Daichi, having them be essentially the team that Kageyama played on in was it Nationals or just at the?
It was Nationals.
It was Nationals. Okay,
yeah.
So maybe he didn't make it all the way to the top game of Nationals, but they made it to into Nationals.
So maybe Right, so maybe it wasn't the actual Nationals game.
Well, but it could be the Nationals game, but not the Nationals championship game. Anyway, so the point being is that he will end up essentially facing those that rejected his, arrogance in the previous season, but they might get the opportunity to see how much he's changed.
Right, but they will try to antagonize him.
Hold a grudge and antagonize him.
No, they absolutely will.
Because I think they both sides hold a grudge against each other for sure.
Right, yes. Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to keep his cool, because here's the other thing. Like, I mean, I don't know how tough it would be since I don't know anything about volleyball really, but to play setter for the entire game, that seems like a pretty intense ordeal. And if they end up getting inside his head at all, that could prove a problem.
I would say setter is a less active role than like, some of the others.
Sure, yeah.
Some of the ones that they mentioned there, the setter, the main thing about the setter is they will get mentally exhausted.
Right.
And they will not. They will get physically exhausted to some extent, but it won't be as much as some of the spikers and some of the defensive players, because he's essentially getting the first point of contact from their team passed to him. He is the second point of contact,
and he's doing like the smaller passes to just like do like
directional passes and stuff. And that kind of stuff is tough because he has to have his form perfect. Otherwise, it's not going to go fast enough or to the exact direction that he wants.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up was this whole notion of what it's like when you're on the starter kind of setup and you feel like you're about to get replaced. When I played baseball long time ago back in high school, there was this feeling of being in a good batter's position in the lineup.
Sure.
And there was this idea that if you made it into one of the good spots, which, as most baseball players know, is the first to the fourth set.
Right.
That is the best ones. And some people put different values to each one.
Right.
But when I was a batter and I got put into the first of the four lineup, it was like an honor. You just go, oh, I'm here.
Right.
But you knew in the back of your mind, if you did not perform well this game, the next game, you're getting moved down the lineup into the next one. And I remember multiple games where I would be put into the third spot. I was like, whoa, I'm the power hitter. I was never the first spot. Never. But I remember being frequently the third and second spot of those four. Mm-hmm. And I remember one particular game where I was in the third spot and I struck out twice. And it was just bad. Like, I think I had one hit and three duds, and two of them were strikeouts. I moved down to like 7th in the next game. It was like, yeah, Caleb, we're gonna put you down here, and it was just like, ugh. And there's this crippling kind of stab feeling where you're like, okay, I'll do better next time. And there's a real worry attached to it. But with Hinata, what he's experiencing, he's hyped himself up so much. Yeah. He hasn't played on a real court before with a real team, having real stakes and you know, kind of all
even
that
though
stuff.
There aren't really like the stakes for this game aren't that high.
No, but the stakes are associated to a team, therefore it gives emotional weight and all that other stuff you were talking about.
Yeah.
So I get that stress, dude. It's rough.
Yeah.
Anything that stood out to you in particular this episode?
I just
about the team forming stuff.
I loved the team forming stuff. I loved the fact that they showed them like going to the club room.
The club room,
which is, even though it's just a locker room.
Yeah.
I loved how they did bring in all those other characters because with a show like this, they're putting this immense focus on volleyball, and I love it because they're showing how much the characters all care about volleyball.
Right.
But having those little bits where it shows that there is an existence in this world outside of the gym, you know?
Right.
Like it's not just like the entire setting for this show is just inside, you know, at volleyball courts and stuff.
That would be kind of fun if they managed a way to make that work, but you would notice it.
You would notice it, yeah. So I'm glad that they had those little bits of, you know, like Hinata's sister, you know, and that scene was funny. Or Daichi
being too loud on Nichan.
Yeah, or Daichi, you know, talking to the person in the school.
Yeah.
And again, now that we know that there's that new character who's the actual advisor.
Sure.
Because that's what I originally thought the girl was doing. So what is her role?
See, that's the thing. I don't think it's supposed to be as clearly defined. But I'll tell you that when we've played in teams and stuff like this, there was a whole lot of logistical stuff that goes on behind the scenes that most average players would never hear anything about. And I think she's there to help with that regard. Like maybe she's really good friends with one of the players there, like Daichi. She's she's in a relationship with one of them. I don't think she is because of the way Tanaka is kind of flaunting with her.
Maybe there's just two advisors.
I don't think she is an advisor, though.
Okay.
Because she would have kind of made that point if that was the thing. And I
Right.
think Takeda, that's his name, his whole thing is that he's kind of the nervous, komen, kind of character.
Sure.
And he gets things to go his way a lot because he has no dignity, basically. He'll just
he does
get down on the floor and beg. He's like, I die for my team,
Hey, you know what they say? Wow, brain fart. But
you know what they say? Brain fart.
Doing what is necessary. Like a lot of times that can be associated with sort of a ruthlessness. So maybe he's actually this very ruthless person, and because he has no dignity, he's willing to do truly whatever it takes.
I would say she is more of a character that's there to make sure everything in the team runs smoothly.
Yeah.
She helps kind of coordinate things and stuff. Because I would say as a captain, there's the potential that they need other things besides just someone that's going to manage the players. You need to manage the things around the players. And
the gear and all the... Like, she's probably the person that manages
she
the
ordered
funds and stuff.
She ordered the uniforms,
the
jerseys.
And then, so then the actual advisor probably deals with, like, the managing of the team in relation to other teams.
She's probably more of a faculty person where she's interacting with the school portion of everything.
Sure. And then the advisor's running the team, and then the captain is leading the team and the players.
Right.
Okay.
So it's interesting that they are not... they do not have an older senpai as a coach, though.
Yes.
Which is fun, because I like the idea that since they're in high school, they're basically adults, guys.
Right.
They can manage themselves.
Exactly.
And also, it gives them more ownership over the winning and losing of the games themselves.
Right.
In a lot of the schools I noticed growing up, there would always be an older gentleman or older woman coaching the games. And you wouldn't have high schoolers essentially coaching themselves. And I don't really like that, because I think high schoolers, well, some high schoolers are pretty dumb and stuff. It is a thing that I feel like we should give more ownership to people when they're in a team and stuff like that, because then they'll take it more seriously. And when those that don't, they'll just get kicked out of the club.
And when they're being led by someone that's actually playing with them,
yes,
that's way bigger than having some other person that's doing the leading. Because it can, not that it does necessarily, but it can devolve into a more of a boss relationship rather than a leader relationship.
That's a very good
point. Where they're with you in the trenches doing all the stuff that they're making you do.
Yeah, that's how it was for Frisbee with us. We had someone who was 4 years younger than me, 5 years younger than me. I had no problem, essentially taking orders from them because they were a captain, but they played on the field with us. He taught us things. He kind of helped coordinate the way things would go. He was always prepared coming into every game. So there's that added bit of ownership that he had, and then he delegated certain things out to others as needed. Stuff like helping make sure that the field was set up, bringing cones, bringing stuff, getting jerseys, yada yada yada, etc.
Okay.
So yeah, we've now got our core cast, I think, and now we're going to go up against another team, and these being a team from Kageyama's whole escapade in junior high, I am really nervous about actually Hinata being not the only one that gets kind of riled up in a negative way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Here's a thought. What if they both get riled up in a negative way, and because of that
they channel it into the game?
Well,
and
no,
really competitive.
No, I wasn't going to say that. That would be cool too. What I was going to say was that because they basically notice that the other person is having trouble, and that helps them to basically take their focus off of themselves onto their teammate, and they end up helping each other with their own problems.
That'd be cool. I like that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. That'd be cool.
And again, props that they're making the first match in this show, like official match, such a personal one.
Yeah.
I'm
really wondering, are they going to make sure that every single match has some kind of extra value beyond just the game itself?
I hope so.
Because if they can expertly weave in character development into every single match, this show will be something legendary. Because character development is usually a thing that they set aside like an episode for. And they're deftly just sewing it into every single interaction, just everything.
And they were really showing off on that front this episode, because it wasn't that they focused on one character. They went
brought
around
everyone
like 4
into
or 5 characters. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I liked that we still have some unresolved things with Suki and Yamaguchi. You notice how Yamaguchi was kind of about to say something, and I don't remember what he was actually about to say, and then Suki was like, "Shut up." It was kind of one of these things of like they don't feel completely grafted into the team yet.
Right. It was when he was saying like, "What are you calling Suki an idiot?"
Yeah.
And the fact also that he was saying like, "Oh, I'm the only first year that's
exactly
out on the field."
That kind of stuff needs to be resolved as well.
Yeah,
because you know the 2 characters that we haven't gotten named yet. I didn't see actually on the list of the team.
I think they showed all the names, but it was too fast for us to read all of them. So.
Right, I was looking mainly for Hinata and Kageyama.
Right.
So seeing them on the front, I was like, oh, good, that makes sense. But yeah. Other than that, I think I'm just really excited for the next episode.
Yeah.
And they are doing the thing that I mentioned that they hadn't done previously, which was showing home life, and now I'm so glad that they're starting to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they realized, so we haven't shown it yet, but now we're going to show them at the very least hanging out in bed, trying to sleep, each having their own things that are on their minds.
Yeah.
But kind of reminding us also a little bit of their setting. Did you notice that Kageyama lived in a little bit of a nicer place? Whereas Hinata had kind of an older, more traditional, smaller house.
I noticed that Hinata's house seemed a little bit small, but I didn't notice the thing about Kageyama.
The architecture was very different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kageyama's was way more modern.
Sure.
And there's a possibility that it was more of an apartment thing, but it looked like a nicer house and stuff. And then Hinata's was smaller, single floor.
Goes along more with the underdog story.
The underdog stuff, yep. Yeah. And those kind of little subtle things, I would say most people aren't going to catch on. But it's that added bit where you go...
They're putting thought into this.
I see. They really want Hinata to be the character that feels like the every boy. Not the every man in this case, but the coming into this and just having that real desire.
Right.
But having no real extra boons to go his way, except for the athleticism and reflexes that he's gained by just his... just crazy passion for playing this game constantly.
And that really is his greatest asset.
It is almost his only asset.
Sure.
I mean, off the field, he has some great ones in terms of that he's a very positive, easily excited person. So he can help other people be inspired to do this. Do you think that actually Hinata or Kageyama will move more into the leader position in the near future?
Yes. One of the things that I
both of them or one or the other.
Well, here's one of the things that I could see. So there's a few seasons of Haikyuu right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's one of the things I'm wondering. Since a bunch of the characters in there right now are 3rd years, are they going to get to a point? This would be so sad where they graduate.
And it's their last game with the team.
It's their last game with the team, and then you have a time after Daichi and Suga and Tanaka have left.
Oh, that's going to be so sad. Jacob, I didn't even think about that. Why did you do that to me? No. I'm already attached to this team. I don't want to see...
it's going to get even worse, yeah.
Oh, but that's actually going to be great. Because Kageyama can maybe then be the new Daichi.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hinata can be the person welcoming all the new people like Tanaka, but instead of being kind of brash and hilarious, he's more just excited and wide-eyed and... maybe a little bit wiser and more experienced.
And do you know what that also means?
What's that?
That means that because graduated from high school, but contrary to popular anime belief, that does not mean that they're dead. So, you could have reunions with them, like where they come to their important games or whatever. Where they meet up afterwards, just to play for fun or whatever.
Dang it, this show is going to be the death of me.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be some good feels. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. More good feels coming. I love the good feels aspect to this show.
Oh, yeah.
It really gives you this kind of warm hum right here. You just kind of go...
You can't be sad after watching this show.
No, you will be sad after watching this show.
Yes.
You've just proven my point as to how and when, at least in the future, at some point, we will be sad watching this show. But we can still feel good while being sad.
Right. So. It's the good kind of sad, not the Grave of Fireflies kind of sad.
Anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching this. Go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon.
Yes.
And get on early access and also our Discord. We'd love to chat with you about stuff in there. All right, we'll see you again later. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.